Judges 20. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last, and the only, and he is a very jealous El, very jealous. He doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And his son Yehoshua died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity more than 2,000 years ago. And the letter J is about 600 years old. And Yehoshua in English is Joshua. And another word for judges is rulers. Judges 20. And all the children of Israel came out from Dan to Beersheba, B-E apostrophe E with a half a check mark, R-S-H-E-B with a line underneath it, A, and from the land of Gilead, and the congregation assembled as one man before Yah at Mitzvah, and the leaders of all the people, all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of Elohim, 400,000 foot soldiers who drew the sword, 400,000 foot soldiers who drew the sword. And the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel had gone up to Mitzvah, and the children of Israel said, Speak up, how did this evil come about? And the man, the Levite, husband of the woman who was murdered, answered and said, My concubine and I went into Gibeah, which belonged to Benjamin, to spend the night, and the masters of Gibeah rose against me and surrounded the house at night because of me. They thought to kill me, but instead they humbled my concubine, and she died. Then I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the land of the inheritance of Israel, because they committed wickedness and folly in Israel. Look, you are all children of Israel, speak and give your counsel here. And all the people rose as one man, saying, Let not one of us go to his tent, nor any of us turn back to his house. And now this is what we do to Gibeah. Go against it by lot, and you shall take 110 out of every 100. Take 10 men out of every 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 out of every 1,000, and 1,000 out of every 10,000, and take food for the people to prepare for their going to Gibeah in Benjamin, for all the folly they did in Israel. And all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribes of Benjamin, saying, What is this evil that has come about among you? And now give us the men, the sons of Belial, who are in Gibeah, so that we put them to death and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not listen to the voice of their brothers, the children of Israel. So the children of Benjamin gathered together from their cities to Gibeah to go to battle against the children of Israel. And from their cities at that time, the children of Benjamin registered 26,000 men who drew the sword. To 26,000 men to the 400,000 that just stomped at their front doorstep. They're going to lose. They should give up the evil one, because Yah will not support them because of that evil act. And from their cities at the time, the children of Benjamin registered 26,000 men who drew the sword, besides the inhabitants of Gibeah, who registered 700 chosen men. Oh, okay, so about 27,000, just round it up for their own sake. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh my butt off. This is insane that they think they stand a chance. Among all this people, who were 700 chosen men, who were left-handed, each one could sling a stone at a hair's breadth and not miss. And besides Benjamin, the men of Israel registered 400,000 men who drew the sword. All of these were men of battle, and the children of Israel rose and went up to Beth-el to ask of Elohim, and they said, Who of us go up first to battle against the children of Benjamin? And Yah said, Yehuda first. Yeah, Yehuda first. Yah is on their side. 400,000 men, and they're on their side versus those puny little 27,000 who raped a woman and they couldn't be bothered to just give up the evildoers. Arrogance, man. The arrogance these people have. And the children of Israel rose in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin, and the men of Israel put themselves in battle array to fight against them at Gibeah. And the children of Benjamin came out of Gibeah, and on that day cut down to the ground 22,000 men of Israel. And the people, the men of Israel, strengthened themselves and again formed the battle line at the place where they had put themselves in array on the first day. And the children of Israel went up and wept before Yah until evening, and asked for Yah, saying, Should I again draw near for battle against the children of my brother Benjamin? And Yah said, Go up against him. And the children of Israel drew near to the children of Benjamin on the second day, and Benjamin went out against them from Gibeah on the second day, and cut down to the ground 18,000 more of the children of Israel. All these drew the sword, and all the children of Israel, even all the people, went up and came to Bethel and wept and sat there before Yah and fasted that day until evening. And they offered ascending offerings and peace offerings before Yah. And the children of Israel asked of Yah. The ark of the covenant of Elohim was there in those days. And Pinhas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, Should I yet again go out to battle against the children of my brother Benjamin, or should I cease? And Yah said, Go up, for tomorrow I give them into your hand. And Israel set ambushers all around Gibeah, and the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin on the third day, and put themselves in battle array against Gibeah as at the other times. And the children of Benjamin came out to meet the people, probably really full of themselves because they just took down 50,000 people basically. Draw away from the city, and they began to strike some of the people, slaying as at the other times in the highways, of which one went up to Bethel and the other to Gibeah in the field, about 30 men of Israel. And the children of Benjamin said, They are going to be smitten before us as previously. But the children of Israel said, Let us flee and draw them away from the city to the highways. And all the men of Israel rose up their places and put themselves in battle array at Baal Tamar. And the ambush of Israel broke forth from their position at Ma'ira Geba, M-A-apostrophe-A-R-E-H, and then Geba, G with a line on top of it, E-B with a line underneath of it, A. And 10,000 chosen men from all Israel came against Gibeah, and the battle was fierce, but they did not know that calamity was close to them. And Yah smote Benjamin before Israel, and the children of Israel destroyed 25,100 men on that day in Benjamin. All those drew the sword. And the children of Benjamin saw that they were smitten, and the men of Israel had given ground to the Benjamites, because they trusted in the ambush that they had set against Gibeah. And the ambush hurried and came against Gibeah, and the ambush spread out and struck the entire city with the edge of the sword. And the appointed signal between the men of Israel and the ambush was that they would make a great cloud of smoke rise up from the city. Then the men of Israel would turn in battle, and Benjamin began to strike dead about 30 of the men of Israel, for they said, They are indeed smitten before us as at the first battle. Then the cloud began to rise from the city in a column of smoke, and the Benjamites looked behind them and saw the entire city going up in smoke to the heavens. And when the men of Israel turned back, the men of Benjamin were troubled, for they saw that calamity was close to them. And they turned their backs before the men of Israel toward the way of the wilderness, for the battle overtook them, while those who had come out of the cities were destroying them in their midst. They surrounded the Benjamites and pursued them, and with ease trampled them down as far as the front of Gibeah toward the east. And there fell the Benjamite 18,000 men. All of these were mighty men, and they turned and fled toward the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, Rimmon, and they cut down 5,000 of the men on the highways and followed after them up to Gidom, Gid with the line underneath of it, OM, and struck 2,000 of them. And all who fell of Benjamin that day were 25,000 men who drew the sword. All of these were mighty men. But 600 men turned and fled toward the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, and they dwelt at the rock of Rimmon for 2 new moons. And the men of Israel turned back against the children of Benjamin and struck them with the edge of the sword from every city, man and beast, all who were found, and they set fire to all the cities they came to. And all they had to do was the respectable decision of taking those rapists and giving them over. But no, they were too selfish and greedy, and they only thought about themselves, and now they're all dead. I sense justified. In my eyes, that was 100% justified.